At LHTC Broadband, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. We're your local choice for TV, phone, and internet. We offer high-quality cable TV service with HD, multi-room DVR, on-demand, and watch TV everywhere. Plus unlimited calling, and our internet is faster than ever with speeds up to 1 gigabyte. With no contracts and local customer service, switching has never been easier. Call today, 724-593-2411, or visit lhtcbroadband.com.
St. Vincent College prepares students to succeed through rigorous academics, service to the local and global communities, and by gaining a deeper understanding of the world around us. St. Vincent students become leaders in their professions while enjoying lives of meaning and purpose. 98% of recent graduates were employed or furthering their education within 1 year of graduating. Discover more about this tradition of academic excellence, student success, and why attending St. Vincent College can transform your future at stvincent.edu.
Greetings, Westmoreland County. My name is Jessica Petrovich, and I am your Westmoreland Heritage Director and host of Heritage Happenings here on 97.3 and 98.7 Jack FM and online at the station's websites, sponsored by St. Vincent College. Heritage Happenings is also available as a podcast on all of your favorite streaming services. Please check out Westmoreland Heritage at westmorelandheritage.org and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates on cultural and historical events throughout Westmoreland County. On today's show, we will be talking to the Westmoreland Museum of American Art and their exciting exhibitions, as well as some ways to have fun during the winter months at the museum. We will also be joined by the Westmoreland Symphony Orchestra and get to hear about their 2020 into 2021 front row season and ways to support the symphony outside of attending their incredible concerts. Our first guests, Professor Alex Taylor and Barbara Jones, are on call with us from the University of Pittsburgh and the Westmoreland Museum of American Art, respectively. They are going to share all the information with us about their upcoming student-led exhibition, and then if we have time, we'll hear about all the ways you can embrace the museum during the snowy winter months. Professor and Barbara, thank you both so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having us. We really appreciate the opportunity to talk about this exhibition. And Alex, I'll start, and then I'll let you jump in. I just want to say that this exhibition has been really fun in its creation because will be our first exhibition in 2021, opening February 7th, running through May 9th. And it tracks the presence and meanings of pattern across a selection of works from the Westmoreland's collection that aren't often on view. The students have created the title, Pattern Makers, and this exhibition is a collaboration with Professor Taylor, and he is in the History of Art and Architecture Department at the University of Pittsburgh, and his virtual curatorial practicum class this last fall semester. His students, which are mostly graduate students, mined the museum's collection and storage to discover the new relationships between objects and revealed so many interesting connections and patterns between diverse works of different styles and periods. So it's been a really fun one to look at with them. A new set of eyes is always extremely helpful when looking at a collection that, I've been looking at now for 25 years.
Yes. Well, and I'd imagine too, Barbara, when I was reading about the creation of this exhibition, how generous the Westmoreland was in opening up this opportunity for the students, and just to, like you said, have that fresh set of eyes get to look at works that may not have been out in the public eye for a very long time. It sounds like a really cool process.
Well, I'll let Alex speak to that because he was heavily involved in setting this all up.
Yes. So Professor Taylor, I am just thrilled to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time today. This whole exhibition is extremely student-led. So if you could tell our listeners about this process from conception until the upcoming exhibition in February here, I'd love to hear all the details.
Yeah, sure. As Barbara said, it really was an incredible opportunity for students in Pitt's History of Art and Architecture department to really get kind of hands-on, at least in a virtual way, with a permanent collection, and to think about how a museum uses its permanent collection to tell stories. It really has been a kind of tricky and uncharacteristic semester, as you can imagine.
Yes.
But actually, as a process, some of the constraints of the pandemic context has meant that students really have had to dig into the kind of resources, the databases and the spreadsheets by which they can learn what's in the Westmoreland collection, the kind of 3,000 to 4,000 objects that they have at their disposal. And obviously to see that many works would be, frankly, impossible. But to really analyse them using those digital resources has been a very rewarding process for them, and something that I think is very much in line with the kinds of professional processes that they might have if they end up working in a museum themselves. So the other thing I'd say is that as an art historian, when you're writing an essay or a book, you get a great deal of freedom in selecting the kind of objects that you want to illustrate and discuss. And it's easy to imagine that exhibition curators get to exercise similar sorts of judgment over the objects on a wall. The reality, of course, is that there's all sorts of reasons why a particular work of art is or isn't available for an exhibition. And so the task of developing a compelling story from within the limitations of a collection is a really productive and I think creative challenge for students. And it's also one that's entirely realistic for the kinds of professional practice that Barbara, in her time at the museum, has had to embark on time and time again, but that was for me and for my students entirely new and incredibly exciting to dig into the Westmoreland collection and discover the kinds of stories that it had to tell.
Professor Taylor, too, I was told my background information, so throughout the process of looking at the Westmoreland's vast collection and being able to choose what the students would potentially want in this exhibition, the Pattern Makers exhibition was actually one of several different proposals. So why ultimately was this Pattern Makers exhibition chosen over the other options?
Yeah, well, maybe as context, it's worth saying something briefly about the process that we embarked on. So, in discussion with Barbara and other key senior staff at the museum, we really, the students really explored the ways in which both the Westmoreland and other museums of American art have been using their collections over the last decade or so to inform their own approach. And so the core of the semester was really dedicated to those students working in groups to explore the collection and develop at first kind of small clusters of works that spoke together in interesting ways, and then from those kind of small clusters to build that out into fully fledged exhibition concepts. And so, yeah, you're right. There were the kind of three concepts that emerged from the students in the class. One of those, I think it's okay that I talk about the other ones. Is that okay, Barbara?
Sure.
So one of those concepts explored how objects, both kind of luxury consumer objects like silver and glass in the Westmoreland collection, and images of objects such as still life paintings, how these kind of works could be connected to invisible histories of global trade and the kind of circulation of objects around the world. And so the students in this group were really interested to ask where silver and where mahogany and where silk comes from, who made it, and who profited from it. The other concept was one that was tied to images of kind of American folklore and the forms of nostalgia and memory and sometimes misremembering that those images involved. And so that group was interested in, for instance, works in the collection that might hint at Native American presence in images of the landscape, but that ultimately relegate it outside of the frame. And this, is one of many examples where what is missing from a picture can be as interesting as what it contains. But as you say, the pattern makers concept rose to the top. I should probably leave it to Barbara to say why that one rose to the the top. I have some suspicions why it did, but I think it certainly was the most immediate and accessible of the concepts that were developed, and the works in the collection that it is allowing us to show are really exciting and rich.
It is, and I can speak to why we selected that. I have to say, we thought each idea was really, really good and thought out and great on its own merit, but decided to move forward with the pattern exhibition because I felt from the very beginning that it was the most fully formed, and as Alex says, it was the most accessible. But it's going to be really engaging for our audience because it's going to be so colorful, and we're thinking about this as a winter exhibition, when it's gray and it's dark outside. And, this gallery is going to be full of life, and it's going to really look at how many different artists use materials and pattern, and it's not just, what you might consider fine art. It's going to include decorative arts, some furniture, quilts, and coverlets, and, more artisan-made objects. And so I think that also was appealing to us because it hit on a really broad range of subject matter. But the other two concepts, they're not lost to us for sure. We are in the midst of a big project funded by the IMLS, Institute of Museum and Library Services, and we're looking at creating an interpretive plan and collecting data from our audience about everything, that we do here, and especially in the galleries. And so I want to use a lot of those ideas from those first two proposals to really speak to specific objects in the collection. So we will use that material, and it will show up once we have some new reinstallations to create.
Well, it just sounds like this was the most productive past couple of months for you and all of these incredible students at the University of Pittsburgh. And again, this exhibition called Pattern Makers will open on February 7th. Is that correct, Barbara?
Yes, February 7th is a Sunday. I'm just looking at my calendar, but yes, I believe that's correct. And it runs through May 9th, which is also a Sunday. Yes, Sunday, February 7th.
And as you mentioned, too, this will be full of color and life. And when it's gray and slushy outside, that could be a very welcome relief for the public. So, and we just have a couple of minutes left here. I'd love to ask you, Barbara, how can members of the public safely go about not only enjoying the Pattern Makers exhibition, which is courtesy of Professor Alex Taylor and his class, but also the Westmoreland has some special winter fun going on right now. How can members of the public enjoy both that exhibition and then any of those other fun things that the Westmoreland always has up their sleeve?
Well, we do ask that visitors register in advance on our website, and that's www.thewestmoreland.org. And if you do a /visit, you will see all the guidelines having to do with COVID-19, but wearing a mask or face covering and practice social distancing, and all those safety policies are on the website, but they're also restated in the museum with signage and by our really nice greeter at the reception desk. We have a very interesting exhibition from the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C., African American Art in the 20th Century, which will be on view till January 17th. We have a complimentary exhibition of African American artists in our post-50s gallery that includes works from our permanent collection as well as loans from Art Bridges, which includes a David Driscoll and a Carrie James Marshall, and Willie Cole from the Indiana University of Pennsylvania Museum of Art. We have an exhibition in our Robertshaw Gallery that actually will close the day after this program airs of Ellen Chisda Newberg. They're very colorful, abstract paintings, but also shine a light on, her life of being an artist. And the next exhibition in that gallery is a photography exhibition called Acupuncture Photography Project, which is a collaboration between a photographer, Autumn Stanke, and acupuncturist Emily Andrews. And it melds modern art with healing art through a series of photographs.
Wow.
But we also, so that's the exhibitions, but we also have outside for people to enjoy every day, every evening, I should say, dusk until 10 p.m. until February 13th is our winter lights display. And we really do hope people will come up here and just enjoy the lights as the colors change over the building. And we have a quote on our cantilever gallery that right now is by Bob Marley that says, "Light up the darkness," but we're asking people to submit their own quote that they might like to see up there. So if anybody wants to do that, they can certainly send that information to us via the website or info@thewestmoreland.org.
Oh, that is so lovely. And Barbara, I hate to cut you off. We are out of time. And I just want to thank the both of you so much for your time this morning. Please make sure, listeners, to come to the incredible Pattern Makers exhibition that will debut in February and run until May. And of course, when you want a little bit of color joy in your life in these gray winter months, you can go outside at the Westmoreland with their beautiful winter light display, or register in advance and then come inside. So Professor Alex Taylor and Barbara, thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you, Jessica. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jessica.
Please check out the Westmoreland Museum of American Art at thewestmoreland.org and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This is Heritage Happenings, the show with the latest information on Westmoreland County cultural and historical events and organizations. I'm Jessica Petrovich. Thanks to our sponsor, St. Vincent College, for supporting our show today. Our next guest, Endy Reindl, is calling in from the Westmoreland Symphony Orchestra. Endy is going to talk about the amazing front row season with the orchestra, as well as ways you can support the organization outside of attending their delightful concerts. Endy, thank you so much for being on call today.
Oh, it's so great to be here, Jessica. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. All right. So first, the day that this show airs, you all will be getting ready for the Home for the Holidays concert. So how has preparation been going for that traditional, wonderful event?
Preparation this year is a little different, yes. But it is going really well. This concert continues to just be the hallmark of the season, and just, so many great memories for folks over the years, and we are just so thrilled and quite frankly humbled. The fact that, we can present this new front row digital series, and that we're able to carry on these traditions even amongst different times, because we know that through music, we can bring that moment of joy, that moment of calm, that moment of escape that we also desperately need right now. So we're so proud and thrilled to be able to offer that. And
you refer to it as the kind of pinnacle of the holiday season, and I'm just thinking back to last year. I got to see it in person, and I think that one of the silver linings of this front row season, which I'm going to ask you about in a minute here,
sure.
But if for whatever reason you can't get out, or you've never been able to go to the Palace and see this concert in person, this now allows you from the comfort of your home to enjoy this just spectacular concert. So if you could share details about, in general, just this front row concert season, maybe how it came to be, what your thoughts were on it, and then how listeners can get tickets to all of these delightful shows.
Surely, so back in March, we really sat down and had some long conversations and said, this could really stink, but let's make the best of it.
Yes.
Let's move forward. Let's make a difference. Let's be positive about this. This is not a situation where the lights are off or we've been on intermission. I mean, it has been far from it. And we are just so thrilled that through some cooperative grant opportunities with the Cultural Trust, through some very generous foundations, that we were able to have installed at the Palace Theater a brand new high definition 32 times zoom, you name any superlative you want. It's a fabulous system. So we were able to really convert the Palace into a filming studio, if you will, so that we are able to bring all the excitement, all of the energy of attending a concert or a play or a production, whatever the case may be, directly to you at home. So all you have to worry about is, you purchase a ticket, on the website. Super easy process, or still call the office. More than glad to help. You get an email, a day or two before the concert, and right in that email, it has how you can support local business, local merchants, restaurants, and then it has this lovely giant red button that says "Click here to watch the concert." You click that button, and boom, you're right there. You are to view the concert, and it's as simple as that. We've also come up with a technology guide to help folks who say, "Hey, I'm watching this on my tablet or my laptop or my phone, and I have this lovely 50-inch TV sitting in my room. How can I get it up there?" Well, we have you covered with that technology guide.
Wow.
And we've taken it one step further, and you say, Andy, I am just not that tech savvy. I'm just really not sure. We have a tech task force. That's a mouthful, but they are lovely folks, and they will do their darndest. That's available the Friday and Saturday before and of the show to be able to help folks, because we get it stressful. We get there's a lot going on. Our goal is to provide you that hour and a half of entertainment. You take it for yourself, because we all need to take time for ourselves right now. We don't be unapologetic to say you need to unplug. You need to enjoy some fabulous holiday music. Who doesn't love the nostalgia of Bing Crosby, Perry Como? And this year we're even able to include some of the music with some lovely arrangements of Mannheim Steamroller. So some fun, exciting stuff this year, all from the safety and comfort of your home. And if you're wearing your holiday themed pajamas, sounds great. If you're all dressed up for that evening soiree with a glass of wine or champagne, sounds great. If you're just wearing a pair of jeans and have a tub of popcorn, sounds great. This is the opportunity for you to enjoy the holiday as you see fit, as you feel safe to do, or whatever the case may be. We are just, again, we are simply humbled that we are able to do this and continue and truly be the only orchestra in Western Pennsylvania to be able to present a real season. And we are just thrilled and humbled by the response of this community in this region, really, to see that move forward and to buy tickets and subscribe and all those wonderful things.
Well, and you bring up an excellent point. I'm going to combine kind of two questions that I have for you here. So, of course, Home for the Holidays is not the only front row season concert that's being offered. There are several others, and also a couple of opportunities outside of the concerts to support the Westmoreland Symphony Orchestra. So if you could talk about both of those opportunities.
Oh, sure. So I mean, Home for the Holidays, of course. If you're looking for a great evening, please join us on December 19th, at 7:30. And but past that, we are very happy. We continue the season in February, right around Valentine's Day. So we'll have a lovely concert there, bringing in fabulous. He's actually the principal cello for the Cleveland Orchestra. And if you do not know, Cleveland Orchestra is the top dog, really, in orchestras in the United States. These are just skilled musicians and really wonderful. But it's really, as wonderful as that is, it's really about the connection. It's really about being able to understand what the music is trying to evoke and trying to, and we, especially this year, are trying to bring more composers to the podium, different music, and really expose lots of music that maybe wouldn't normally get heard. So that's definitely going to be the case in February. Lots of fun, very romantic music, of course, for February. In March, we're looking at programming, hopefully some music of Mozart and Copland. Aaron Copland, everyone remembers Where's the Beef commercial, that Aaron Copland, Hoedown for Rodeo and all that fun music. And then in May, we're crossing our fingers that we can still pull it off. We are so thrilled that we should be bringing back young piano phenom Maxime Lando, who, very large audiences from the past 2 years can tell you. He'll be 18. He first came to us when he was 15.
Still young.
He's still extremely young. He is so talented, and he has really been playing with like the number one pianist in the world, Long Long, who you're probably thinking, boy, did his audio just cut out? Like, is it truly Long Long? It's like, yes, that's his name.
Yeah. Yes.
But he is this world phenom, and if you ever ask, pianist, that's the guy. But he studies with him. He is just phenomenal. He did an encore song after his last performance, his solo, just a little bit of classic rock on the piano and whatnot. I mean, it was fabulous.
Wow.
So we are just so thrilled, and we've been taking this opportunity to really revamp and engage our neighbors in even more ways. I mean, through our WSO To Go series at the same time. If you go to the website and on our social media channels, there's just tons and tons of interviews and great music shots and our musicians just really showcasing how wonderful they really are. And it's just, again, moments to take you away from everything, provide that calm, provide that joy, provide that escape. But even more so, we've been engaging in different projects. We just started airing last weekend, partnered with the Westmoreland Ballet, and they filmed a Nutcracker on location at different locations here in Westmoreland County.
And I have to
just with the symphony, behind it. I mean, it's just fabulous.
And to emphasize how incredible that was, and this is an on-the-spot question. Do you know, is that available after the fact for folks to watch if they missed it, or is that opportunity sadly gone?
That's a wonderful question. I have, although I probably should know, I have heard rumors that there is a potential, on-demand or DVD maybe
that
coming
would be
in
amazing.
The near future. But, we're still trying to figure all that out and work with all the, we want to make sure that everyone gets their just desserts through that process.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was just fabulous. And, and aside from that, I mean, we're really working, with a number of other collaborators. We've worked with the Carnegie Museum of Art this year to showcase a fabulous African-American composer, George Walker, and just so many great opportunities this year. The word, for us, 2020 has been a year of change, but it's been a year of positive change and really a year to keep moving forward, keep, bringing music to our neighbors, because, we know that what we do here at the Symphony has no downside. So we're humbled to be able to continue on and keep that legacy going.
Well, Andy, thank you so much. And we are completely out of time today. It's just a pleasure talking to you about this, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Please check out the Westmoreland Symphony Orchestra at westmorelandsymphony.org. That is also where you can buy tickets for all these lovely shows, and you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This is Heritage Happenings, the show with the latest information on Westmoreland County cultural and historical events and organizations. I'm Jessica Petrovich. Thanks to our sponsor, St. Vincent College, for supporting our show today. And before we close, we have a quick announcement to share from the Foster and Muriel McCarl Coverlet Gallery at St. Vincent College, our sponsor. The Coverlet Gallery will host a number of upcoming virtual events leading into the Christmas holiday, including a weekly podcast series featuring some holiday ghost stories. These will be narrated by Jared Bundy, class of 2008, and my work colleague. The series will consist of 4 readings, including The Tapestried Chamber by Sir Walter Scott, The Haunted Rock by W.W. Fenn, How Peter Parley Laid a Ghost by Anonymous, and The Ghost Summons by Ada Buisson. You can find all of these podcasts on the McCarlGallery.org, as well as all of their social media accounts. That's all we have time for today. Be sure to stay safe and healthy. Take some time to enjoy our Westmoreland County cultural and historic sites and events. And of course, be sure to check out St. Vincent College and all of its events. Follow Westmoreland Heritage on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and check out all of our information on westmorelandheritage.org. This has been Jessica Petrovich, your Westmoreland Heritage Director and host for Heritage Happenings on 97.3 and 98.7 Jack FM, and online at the station's websites, sponsored by St. Vincent College. Heritage Happenings is also available as a podcast on all of your favorite streaming services. I hope you have enjoyed today's show. Until next time.
St. Vincent College prepares students to succeed through rigorous academics, service to the local and global communities, and by gaining a deeper understanding of the world around us. St. Vincent students become leaders in their professions while enjoying lives of meaning and purpose. 98% of recent graduates were employed or furthering their education within 1 year of graduating. Discover more about this tradition of academic excellence, student success, and why attending St. Vincent College can transform your future at stvincent.edu.
At LHTC Broadband, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. We're your local choice for TV, phone, and internet. We offer high-quality cable TV service with HD, multi-room DVR, on-demand, and watch TV everywhere. Plus unlimited calling, and our internet is faster than ever with speeds up to 1 gigabyte. With no contracts and local customer service, switching has never been easier. Call today, 724-593-2411, or visit lhtcbroadband.com.